Missing someone.
Hi friends, it's Nathan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we have another video on the Spilling the Universi-tea series where I ask my friends to share their experiences at top Canadian universities. You can find the whole playlist linked above or in the description box below. So today's highlight school is the University of Toronto. So many of you have been asking me,
where's UofT? I want to know about UofT.
The video is finally out for you guys. So I've asked my friend Nadeem to share his experience on what it's like studying at UofT and living in downtown Toronto. So let's get on with that video.
Hey everyone, so my name is Nadeem and I'm a second year student at the University of Toronto studying kinesiology. I'm here because Nathan asked me to answer some questions about UofT and my program and just about University of Toronto in general. So one of the main reasons I chose UofT was because of its prestigious name and it is world renowned. It also has multiple connections with other hospitals and clinics around the GTA, and as I'm in kinesiology, I need those connections if I want to work at hospitals in the future, work at clinics, physiotherapist clinics. So UofT having those connections was a big decision in me choosing UofT. UofT is a lot closer to my home in Markham, and opposed to other university students, I prefer to be closer to home rather than farther away. So that was also another reason I chose UofT. So what's the University of Toronto campus like? The campus is a very old-fashioned campus. It has a lot of old buildings mixed in with a lot of newly built buildings. Our gym, the Goldring Center, was just built a few years ago, and it has top-notch everything, very clean, very new.
Good and fresh.
Although it is in the center of Toronto, you would never be able to tell because of the fact that it is such an old campus and it looks exactly like any other campus around Ontario, like Western or Queen. So walking from one side of campus to the other could take anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, but as you are on campus longer, you find out a lot more about the shortcuts and different pathways you can take, so it's closer to the 15-minute side further into your first year. The campus is also surrounded by 3 major subway stations and 1 major streetcar line, which makes it very easy for commuters to come to school every day, or even if you want to go from campus to any part of Toronto, it makes it super easy to travel. University of Toronto St. George campus is based in the heart of Toronto, which makes it super easy to stay connected and attend a lot of fun events during the summer, even during the winter. There's tons to do in Toronto all year round, and for students it's especially good because students get deals and free admissions to certain places. So for example, students every Tuesday get free admission to the ROM, the Royal Ontario Museum, and even restaurants around Toronto, if you show your student ID, you get discounts and deals. University of Toronto is home to some of the top researchers and professors in their respective fields. So learning from these professors, you know that they're very confident and knowledgeable in their respective fields. I am in the Faculty of Kinesiology and Physical Education, which is
a much smaller faculty compared to the others in UofT.
So making connections with professors is a lot easier for me. During classes, professors will stop right in the middle just to ask for questions or clarification, and if we need any help. Nearly all professors and teaching assistants, or TAs, will offer office hours at some time during the week, usually after class, just in case you have any questions or need help with projects, assignments, or questions for final exams or midterms. In most faculties and programs across UofT, the classes are 3 hours each.
3 hours each. 3 hours each.
Which is really long, but in my faculty, classes are split into 2 and 1 hour classes or 1.5 and 1.5 hour classes. I know that some other faculties and programs keep their classes 3 hours long straight so they don't have to split it up throughout the week. Splitting up classes is good for people like me who find it difficult to sit down for 3 hours straight and listen to a professor talk, but some professors do give breaks between the 3 hour classes, maybe a quick 5 or 10 minute break just to help students move around, get some blood flowing to the brain, and just focus on something else for a few minutes and then jump back in. So what is student culture like at the University of Toronto? So one of the first experiences I had with student culture was being accepted into the Facebook group of the class of 2022, and this is where you can upload a little bio about yourself, what program you're in, your favorite things, your least favorite things, and then just some pictures about you so people get to know who you are, and you can start making friends even early in the summer or early, like late in the spring, just so that you can kickstart making relationships with people. In kinesiology, we do have a general Facebook group chat where whenever we have questions, we just send them in and immediately you'll get an answer by someone else who knows what they're doing and what they're talking about. We tend to share notes with each other a lot, and if you miss a class, you'll always have someone to send you the notes. And I do know in other general programs like arts and science, you have group chats for certain classes, and there you can do the same thing. You can ask questions and you can ask for notes, but I know that sometimes they can be a little bit more competitive.
Well, there it is.
And not want to share notes, but you can always try and ask some questions. So what is res like? So my residence experience at UofT wasn't amazing, but it was still pretty good. My residence floor was an all-boys floor, and most of the boys were in the same program or were in very similar programs, so it made it hard to communicate with them and be on the same level as them. Me and my roommate were in very specialized programs, so we tended to stick together and eat with each other in the dining hall during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I did have a lot of other friends in kinesiology in my residence, just in different floors or different buildings, so at night we tended to study together in the lounge or in the library, and we always just stuck together as kinesiology friends, and we did most of the things at residence together, like eating. On the note of eating, the food at my residence was pretty good, and it was worth the money. Instead of it being pay per item, it was an all-you-can-eat, so you just swipe when you enter the dining hall, and you can eat as much as you want, have as many plates. This was a win, as you just pay in the beginning and you don't have to worry about running out of money in the middle of the school year because
You eat too much in the beginning, or you don't eat enough and then you have too much money left over.
in more specialized faculties like kinesiology, architecture, and music, you have your own registrar and your own faculty area. But for more general students, like arts and science students, you are placed into a college like Victoria College or St. Mike's, and this is where you live, and this is where your registrar is for your academic purposes. As UofT is a huge commuter school, it turned out that a lot of the people in residence were international students from around the world. And this was even a good thing because the international students tended to be the more outgoing and fun people in residence. So for me, O Week started a few days earlier than most O Weeks usually start, as in kinesiology, the whole first year class goes up to a camp, and we spend a few days together to bond and get to know each other before school actually starts. When we return from this camp, O Week pretty much starts immediately after that, and for me, O Week was super fun. It was very inclusive, and there were so many different activities that we did. We had a campus-wide obstacle course, there was a relay race, just a lot of fun things to orientate us to UofT and to orientate us with our own faculty. So closer to the end of O Week, all the faculties gather on the varsity field, and that is where we do a cheer-off where every faculty or college does their own cheer, and we see who can be the loudest and most enthusiastic. So after this cheer-off, there's a huge citywide parade that runs all around Toronto. Streets are closed off, we have police directing traffic, and it's super fun because everyone who works in offices comes to the windows, they say hi, they take pictures. You have people driving by honking, trying to increase the energy, and it's just a great time. So party culture at UofT isn't the greatest, if I'm going to be completely honest, if you aren't legal. So if you aren't legal, there are some things that you can do which are a lot of fun. You can go to house parties, there's fraternities you can go to, and even residence parties can be fun. However, when you do turn legal, either in the second half of your first year or going into second year, It opens up so many doors and opportunities for you to go out. There's tons of clubs, tons of bars available in Toronto that are always a lot of fun. However, it is important to remember that it can be expensive at some places, ranging from anywhere from
$10 to $20.
The Madison Avenue pub, or as we call it, the Maddie, is a hotspot for UofT students. At the Maddie, the first Tuesday of every month is half price everything. So that's the day that the Maddie will be the most crowded, but will also be the day that it's the most fun. So what's making friends like at the University of Toronto? So for me, making friends wasn't as hard as I thought it would be due to the Facebook group and also the camp that I attended, which was faculty specific. In my faculty, we're a tight-knit community, so everyone is pretty much friends with everybody. But I do know in the bigger and more general programs, it can be a little harder to make friends. So I found that when taking a art sci class, biology class, but like first year biology, I was able to make the most friends during the labs.
As in lecture, you're surrounded by 500 other students and everyone's focused on what the professor's saying.
But in labs, your classes become smaller, around 20 to 30 people, so it makes it a lot easier to talk with other people and make friends. For classes that don't have labs, they do have tutorials, so those are also smaller classes with around 20 to 30 people, which makes it a lot easier. And a lot of TAs encourage group work during these tutorials, 1, to make friends, and 2, to encourage class discussions. So what are clubs and extracurricular activities like at the University of Toronto? There is a massive club fair after the parade that I talked about earlier in the video. After the parade's finished, everyone congregates in one area on campus, and hundreds of clubs have their booths set up, and you're able to go up, ask questions, even sign up. We have clubs that range anywhere from Quidditch clubs to cultural clubs and anything in between, and most likely you'll find something that you're interested in. One of the clubs that I joined was called Big Spoon, Little Spoon, and this was cooking classes with young children who had special needs. And working with children with special needs was a big interest in mine, so I immediately jumped at this club and signed up. In addition to clubs, we do have intramural sports, which are smaller, less competitive sports teams compared to varsity. You'll most likely find a sport that you're interested in, as there's sports ranging from soccer to volleyball to field hockey, and you'll usually find that all the teams are very full, as most people love to participate in these sports but don't want to be as devoted as a varsity athlete and be as competitive. So that's pretty much been my experience at UofT for the past 2 years. I hope I've been able to answer some of your questions or concerns about the UofT. I'll get Nathan to throw my Instagram handle below so that if you are interested, you can message me any questions or concerns that you have.
Thank you so much, Nadeem, for sharing your experiences on what it's like being a student at the University of Toronto. If that video helped you in any way, please make sure to give it a like, and you can ask any questions you may have in the comment section below. And finally, if you're interested in seeing more university videos, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. But that's it for me, so I'll see you friends in the next video. Bye.
Missing someone.